Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the live chat. That is right. We are back to the live chat. Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all here. What are today's big topics and discussions? Let's really quick do a quick overview about some of the stuff we can talk about. We can go into more detail on all of it. So the big news, right? The really big thing that just came out overnight was Nintendo's sales results for the last quarter, and they are astronomical. Don't worry, I'm going to break down a whole bunch of the data for you here in just a minute, but right now we're just doing quick overviews. Basically, their hardware is completely on fire. The Switch is just selling actually mind-boggling amounts of units. The software is through the roof. It's just completely crazy. Nintendo is, completely on fire. So that's something that came out overnight that we can talk about a lot. Next week is the launch of next gen. That is right, as crazy as it seems. On one hand, it feels like it's taken forever to get here, but now that we're here, it's only a week away, less than a week for the Xbox Series X and S. Wow, we are there. So we can talk about what we're expecting for launch in terms of sales for the Series X and PlayStation 5. We can talk about what we're expecting for the launch games to sell, platform splits, whatever you want to talk about in regards to next gen. It's right around the corner, so we can break down all of that info. And I feel like that's kind of the biggest topics right off of the top. But the way this works is we can talk about anything that you want to. The way this works, for anyone that is brand new to the live chat, make sure you drop your comments and questions down into chat. You drive this show, and I answer as many questions and get to as many topics as possible. Now, there's two ways to do this. First of all, there's the free chat. All you do is drop your question, no strings attached, and I hit as many of those free questions as possible. However, if you want to guarantee that I answer your question no matter what, all you have to do is donate in the super chat, and I will 100% get to your question as soon as the super chat drops. So those are the two options. Don't feel pressured to donate in chat. There is no need to if you don't feel like it. Like I said, I do hit as many free questions as possible, but super chat will guarantee it for you. One other really quick thing, I did bring the DualSense with me. So if anyone has any questions at all about the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, it is here. So I can answer. If you haven't gotten your hands a hold on one of these yet, clearly I have not been able to play games on PlayStation 5 with it yet. I do not have a PlayStation 5, but if you have any questions about the feel, about the build quality, the grip, anything like that, I can answer anything you want to in regards to the DualSense. All right, everyone. Thank you for that. And I'm really quick now going to give you a quick breakdown of Nintendo's financial results before we go deeper in depth on that. But I want to let you know the really big things that are worth noting about what happened here. So first of all, Nintendo shipped 6.8 million consoles this past quarter. That's right. They did almost 7 million consoles in 3 months in a non-holiday period. That is mind-blowing. The Nintendo Switch continues to outpace the PlayStation 4 sales globally launch aligned. We all know how gigantic the PlayStation 4 has been. So for Switch to be outpacing PlayStation 4, that is something truly impressive. Animal Crossing has shipped 26 million units in only 6 months. Completely insane. It's the fastest selling exclusive game of all time. No exclusive for any platform has sold at the rate that Animal Crossing is right now, unless you want to count maybe something that was like bundled, like a Wii Sports or something that came with every single console. But for a game that is completely standalone, we have never seen an exclusive sell at this rate. Switch has 3 exclusives that have sold over 20 million now, with more right around the corner. So, that's completely insane. Super Mario 3D All-Stars shipped 5.2 million units in only 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, over 5 million for 3D All-Stars. Basically, Nintendo has increased their forecast for profit, for revenue, for hardware sales. So they increased their year's projections from 19 million consoles shipped up to 24 million consoles shipped. And to be honest, I think that's conservative. I think they're going to do over 24 million units shipped. They increased their software forecast, and yeah, they're just going completely on fire. It's insane. Let me really quick give you the top best-selling Switch games now that we have data for that Nintendo has officially released, and then I'm going to dive into questions. So this is going to be the last, kind of highlight, and then we're going to break this all down with your questions. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the best-selling Switch game right now at 28.99 million units. That's about to cross 30 million. Animal Crossing, as I noted, 26.04 million units. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 21.1 million units. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, 19.74 million units. Pokemon Sword and Shield, 19.02 million units. Super Mario Odyssey, 18.99 million units. Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu at 12.49 million. Super Mario Party at 12.1 million. Splatoon 2 at 11.2 million. And Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at 8.3 million. So yeah, that shows you how completely insane Nintendo's first-party software is. Look at how many 10 million plus unit sellers they already have, and there's still a lot of life left in the Switch. All right, everyone, let's get to your comments and questions. It looks like there is a super chat right off the bat from Killian Butler here. Thank you, Killian, saying, "Hi, Benji, just want to support the channel. Hope you're okay." Well, thank you for that super chat, Killian. I'm doing good. I'll tell you what, I'm actually recovering. Yesterday, I was playing with my daughter. I have a 2-year-old daughter, and she jammed her finger in my eye and scratched my eye. I was in brutal pain yesterday. Today, I'm feeling much, much better. I'm a little sore in the eye, but nothing crazy. But I'll tell you what, Killian, yesterday, I love my daughter, but she brutalized my eye. But yeah, I'm good now. I'm much, much better. All right. Now to the questions. Benji's Tank Top saying 1 week hype. Yep, that's right. 1 week till next gen. Split End 89 here in the chat. Thank you, Split End, as always, for being an awesome moderator. I know you're crazy busy with stuff, so thank you for being here, Split End. Benji's Tank Top. From the reviews, it seems like both Xbox Series X and S are amazing consoles, but there are no new first-party AAA games to showcase their full capabilities. It's unfortunate. Yes, I agree with that, Benji's Tank Top. I've been spending the morning kind of reading over various reviews. There's a lot of reviews out there for the Series X and S right now. And basically, yes, it sounds like they are awesome pieces of hardware, especially the Series X, of course. But yeah, almost every review I've read has noted it does feel very similar to this gen in terms of, not in terms of like, seeing next gen games enhanced, but that without that big game at launch, with the controller not being a big evolution, with the dashboard and everything being basically the same dashboard that you have on the Xbox One, right now Series X doesn't necessarily feel mind-blowing in terms of a new experience outside of like fast loading and things like this. It is unfortunate. I'm getting a Series X at launch. Huge thank you to everyone that donates in Super Chat. That's literally how I was able to get both consoles at launch. Otherwise, I'd just be getting one of them. So thanks to your Super Chats, I can get both. But yeah, it definitely sounds like not having that giant brand new, next gen game there is a bit of a bummer for sure. I don't think it's going to hurt them too much at launch, because the people that buy launch consoles are mostly people that are super hyped for the platform anyways, right? They're going to be really big Xbox fans. They're going to be people that have Game Pass or are getting Game Pass. So I think those first few months, it's actually not really going to affect sales all that much. My question, though, is how does that affect them in 6 months, right? As of now, there is still no big exclusive for Xbox, like, really big first party game that's brand new announced, even in the first 6 months of Xbox Series X. So Hopefully they have something really big on the horizon, because Halo I don't think is going to be until the end of 2021. So yeah, that is unfortunate. I wonder how that's going to impact them. Like I said, a little bit further into next year, but I don't think it's going to hurt launch. I think launch is pretty much going to be fine, because of the really big, Xbox fan base. All right, we have a super chat that just dropped from Kelligrim. Thank you so much for the super chat, Kelligrim. And it's good to see you back in chat. I know you've been working a bunch of nights and stuff, you said. So, we've been missing you here in chat, but it's great to see you back, Kelligrim, with the super chat. Thank you so much as always, man. Do you ever see Nintendo doing something with Mario Kart like they do with Smash? Racer Pass instead of a Fighter Pass or something else. Seems like they could capitalize on its success much better. So they had kind of passes for Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, but they weren't to the degree, I get what you're saying here, Kelligrim, where it was one of those things where like the Fighter Pass, one of the things that's most hype about the Fighter Pass is you're getting characters from like third-party games. You're getting characters that you don't necessarily expect, things like that. I do think that the next Mario Kart, they should probably branch out and do some of that kind of stuff, because like you said, it generates crazy hype. If you see the Smash community on Twitter or YouTube or anywhere, whenever there's like a new fighter coming up, it's crazy. The hype is crazy, and all of that hype is going to generate, DLC sales. It's going to generate game sales. It just gets the game out into the public. Now, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe by itself is selling insane, right? It's about to hit 30 million units, which is just completely mind-boggling numbers. But Mario Kart 9, right, the next Mario Kart, I do agree, Kelligrim. I think they should have a more robust DLC strategy for it, because as good as game sales by themselves are, you could also drive a lot more revenue too if you were selling tons of, like you said, racer passes and things like this. So I would like to see that from Nintendo. I think they've done a good job with the fighter passes, not feeling like you're being like ripped off or anything, right? DLC is always a bit of a slippery slope in terms of, do I feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of this, or do I feel like I'm kind of being ripped off? I feel like Nintendo has done a great job of balancing that act with the Fighter Pass, so I think they could have a lot of success and do something really good with a future Mario Kart DLC as well. So yeah, Kelligrim, I'm right with you on that. I think it's a good idea, and they definitely should. Ralph Muster here with a giant super chat. Ralph Muster, oh my God, thank you so much, Ralph. That is unbelievably kind of you. Thank you, Ralph. I mean, wow. What can I say to this super chat? I don't know the exact money here, that like in terms of your money, what CHF is, but 55, my goodness, that is insane, Ralph. Thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough, saying hi there. I'm looking forward to your comments about Nintendo's results, grabs, popcorn. Ralph, you just made my chat right there. Thank you so much, Ralph. So much. I will do my best to break down as well as I can Nintendo's results. So thank you so much, Ralph. All right, super chats are clear. So we're good on that with super chats for now. All right, Costas here with a question. How high do you expect Morales to open up on PS4? 3 days, can it reach 3 million? Also, do you think Demon's Souls will outsell Bloodborne? It has shown great metrics time and time again. Great questions, Costas. Couple thoughts here. Miles Morales is kind of sneaking up on me in terms of how big it can be, right? In my mind, I wasn't really thinking of Miles as being like a new record setter for PlayStation, right? We all know how giant Spider-Man PS4 was, right? Just completely colossal. It's either at or over 20 million right now. We haven't gotten an update from Sony in quite a while, but we know it was at 13 million plus over a year ago. and it has had great legs since then. So if it was already at 13 million a year ago, it's kind of hard to imagine or believe it wouldn't be over 20 million now, or like I said, right in that ballpark. Could be even quite a bit over that. We just really don't know. We haven't gotten an update from Sony in a very long time on that game sales, but clearly gigantic. Miles, I've always been expecting to do very well, right? Why wouldn't it? It's another Spider-Man game. It's going to be a follow-up from the last Spidey, but with it being a little bit of, not a full-fledged sequel, I kind of wondered how exactly that would pan out in terms of like strictly sales momentum, right? Would it be just a 10 million seller? And I say just a 10 million, like that's low, but you know what I'm saying. Or would it be up in the 15s and 20 million unit sellers like Spidey PS4? I'll tell you what, Kostas, with this being cross-gen, with it being kind of like built as one of the flagships at launch for PlayStation 5, I am really starting to buy into the idea that this could be a 3 million plus launch. As we know, that's kind of like Sony's high benchmark is at 3 million plus. We've seen it go past that, right? The Last of Us Part 2. But in general, 3 million has been kind of that range where Sony this gen is putting up crazy numbers, right? That's where we saw God of War launch at. That's where we saw Spider-Man PS4 launch at that 3+ million mark. Kostas, I'm starting to buy into the idea that can happen. Yep. I if you would have asked me this even a couple weeks ago, I would have been like, maybe, but I'm starting to think it's likely now. I really am. On PS4 by itself, I don't know if it can do that. But between PS4 and PS5, I do think so. Yeah, I really do think so. And in terms of will Demon's Souls outsell Bloodborne at launch, I think yes. Bloodborne launched on a bigger install base than Demon's Souls is going to. And when I say at launch, I'm going to kind of say launch window, like those first 3 months. But as you noted, it's showing great metrics online. And this is also, like Miles Morales, being built up into the big next-gen launch game for PlayStation 5. So yeah, I'm feeling really good about Demon's Souls. I think Demon's Souls is going to do very good for a Souls game. Yeah, really, really good. We just had a super chat drop. Let me hit that super chat really quick. Timmer with a super chat. Thank you, Timmer72299. Always in these chats, always so supportive, saying keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Timmer. You keep up your great work on Twitter. Always killing it. I love to give you these shout outs on the chat because you deserve it. So everyone, Timmer's doing great work on Twitter. And thank you so much, Timmer, for the super chat. Benji's Tank Top with a super chat. Whoa, super chat's coming in now. All right, Benji's Tank Top. Sales for Pikmin 3 Deluxe and Age of Calamity. Also, do you think the medium will be delayed given Cyberpunk 2077 is planned to launch on the same day? Great question here, Benji's Tank Top, and that is always my favorite username ever. Oh God, I love that. That is such a good name. I need to get tank tops made. I know I've mentioned it on previous chats. I want to get tank tops made that we can all wear. I want to put them up like to where you guys can order too. I just got to come up with like a cool logo and find out like what the partner would be, like who does the custom shirts, like that would work the best. But that would be perfect. I definitely, Benji's Tank Top, want to get some kind of tank top merch just for fun. Nothing like where I'm wanting tons of sales and stuff from it for me. But I just think it would be fun if we had something like that out there that we could all wear, those tank tops. So I'm going to look into it. We need to. Okay, but in regards to your question. So Pikmin 3 Deluxe, interesting, right? We saw in UK physical, now only physical. This always needs to be noted. I see people make a lot of assumptions based off of UK sales data. And here's kind of my overarching thought on what I find useful about UK sales and what I don't find useful about UK sales. So one of the reasons UK sales data gets brought up so often in the gaming sphere is that's basically the first chart that comes out. Like, for a new game release, UK reports that data basically faster than anyone. Before you're going to see the Japan sales, before you're going to see the US NPD sales, UK charts go up really early. So that's why you see so many people talking about, hey, here's what, this game sold in the UK. What's useful about it, in my opinion, is when game sales in the UK are really high, right? Because that's just a physical chart, the first chart that comes out. Later on, they do another chart that includes digital for a lot of games, but often those charts, if you notice, don't get near as much attention. But why it's important, why I think specifically if a game does really good in the UK, why it's useful, because we know digital sales now are really high, right? At this point in the generation and going into next gen, many games do 50% or higher digital, right? There's games that do above 50% of their sales digital. So that's a huge chunk. So if you look at just a physical chart, and just a physical chart is really high. Like if a game does better than its predecessor, just physically, then holy cow, total sales must be gigantic because digital's not even factored into this. So I think it's useful for that. I think UK is less useful when people see a game quote underperform there and then extrapolate that to mean, oh, it's doing really bad in sales. Because if it's a little lower, we don't have those digital sales. So that's a giant unknown, right? It could legitimately be doing bad, or it could be doing really big sales digitally. You see what I'm saying at here? So a big physical launch, that's worth looking at and paying a lot of attention to because digital is just going to be gravy on top. Lower sales, it's more of an open-ended question. So how this affects Pikmin in particular is Pikmin 3 Deluxe looked like it did kind of mediocre in the UK. But then we saw Pikmin launch in Japan, and it had huge numbers in Japan, like really great. It was the biggest launch, I believe, unless I'm remembering here wrong, the biggest launch ever for a Pikmin game in Japan. That is amazing, right? That's lacking digital. So just physical sales, biggest Pikmin launch ever. In the US, the little bit of data I can see, Benji's Tank Top, I'll say Pikmin looks to be doing just kind of okay. I mean, it doesn't look like a bomb or anything like that, but it also isn't tracking, from what I can see, in the US like a gigantic seller, but kind of just okay. But overall, once we factor in digital, right, we have seen even Nintendo games now are getting huge digital shares. I think Pikmin 3 Deluxe is definitely going to be a success for Nintendo. Keep in mind, Pikmin's not like one of their biggest franchises, and this is a re-release. So I would say don't think of Pikmin 3 Deluxe as like the next, the next Splatoon or the next, Mario Kart or Animal Crossing, nothing like this. But overall, I think it will be a success for them. In regards to the medium, will it be delayed? Here's what I'll say. Launching anything on the same day as Cyberpunk 2077 seems unbelievably risky to me. Cyberpunk even still is tracking like a monster. I mean like a monster. Just in pre-orders and just on Steam, right? This isn't counting consoles. This isn't counting GOG, which is owned by CD Projekt. Just on Steam, this game has consistently been week to week one of the highest selling games on Steam for the last several weeks. And that's just pre-orders. The game's not even out yet. And the little bit of data I can see on pre-orders for console sales are also looking gigantic. So regardless of what Cyberpunk 2077 ends up being in terms of quality or anything like this, those actual like launch sales are going to be ginormous. So launching anything on the same day as it seems incredibly risky. Here's what I'll say that's maybe okay about the medium keeping that date. It's a very different type of game, right? Very different. It's a horror game. It is not this giant budget AAA game. It is more of the team that makes it isn't like a huge AAA studio. So it's not going to have near the kind of budget or something like that. And also it is going to launch on Game Pass day one. So Game Pass could very much help it, find success through there. Here's what I'll say, Benji's Tank Top. I think a delay is not necessarily a bad idea. Like if they decided to delay that game even a week or two, right? Just push it right out of that launch day. A week or two delay. Even that I think would be probably a better idea than launching it next to Cyberpunk, but I also don't think it's the end of the world launching it there. Here's what would be a really bad idea. If like we had Cyberpunk 2077 and another huge AAA game. I don't know, let's just say Assassin's Creed Valhalla, just as an example. If those launched on the same day, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. Those are both games with huge budgets that need to make their money back, that are going to compete with each other. Something like that, yeah. If we had a big AAA game like that, I'd be like, delay it. Do not launch next to Cyberpunk. The medium is a little bit different. In terms of Age of Calamity, I think it's going to do really well tying into Breath of the Wild. That said, the things I have heard from the people that have played the demo have been very mixed. Now, I did not play the demo, but I have heard very mixed things. So quality is going to be a big deciding factor in that. Tying it into Breath of the Wild, very, very smart. Originally, when this game was announced, I was extremely bullish on its sales potential. I still feel really good about it. It's still going to, I guarantee you right now here in this chat, guarantee it's going to sell way better than the last Hyrule Warriors. But the question is what is the ceiling for it? That's going to come down to quality. If it's not great in terms of a game, I think, carrying over that Breath of the Wild name, now granted, it's not named Breath of the Wild, but it's directly tied into it, that's only going to take you so far, right? The game itself actually needs to be good too. All right, several more super chats in here. Thank you so much, everyone. Split End 89 saying, only thing with better legs than Spidey is Benji. Thank you, Split End, for the kind words. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been back to my working out grind, so I am back to it. The legs are getting stronger and better. I'm still not bulked up right now. I'm extremely lean. I am very lean right now, skinny even in some ways. But I'm trying to put more muscle back on. I lost some muscle. I lost some fat too, but I also lost a little bit of muscle. So I'm trying to put that back on. But thank you, Split End. Highlander001 with a super chat. What do you think the announcement next week from Steam, Valve, and Xbox next week? Ooh, I missed this, Highlander, actually. I have heard two things. One, VR for Series X, or one Game Pass game. This is a great question, Highlander. I wish I had more info for you, and I feel really sorry about that because you dropped a super chat for this, but I completely missed that there is a Steam, Valve, and Xbox announcement gearing up for next week. I literally missed this. Did not even know it was a thing. So I have no idea. Is this a rumor or is this confirmed that there is going to be some sort of joint announcement there? That is, I genuinely don't know, Highlander. I have no idea. I genuinely don't know. I'm sorry, Highlander. I wish I knew more on that. But I don't. I am so sorry. That was a super chat. Here you go, Highlander. If you drop another question into Super Chat and use @Benji-Sales in your question, I'll make sure to come back to it so I can give you a more thoughtful answer on something, because I genuinely had no idea this was a thing. And then Timor72299 here with the Super Chat. Thank you so much, Timor. That's your second Super Chat of the chat. Thank you. Do you think we will see a sequel to Bully? It sold over 1.5 million copies, and the budget was 80 plus million. Timor, I do think so. I think Bully is one of those games that just has like a really big cult following, right? There are so many people that played Bully and absolutely loved it. I have never played Bully, but it also gives Rockstar a chance to make something that's not gigantic, right? I think putting out these big gigantic games is obviously, this isn't a hot take here, but it's obviously greatly important, right? Whether that is the next Red Dead or the next Grand Theft Auto. I mean, the amount of units those games sell and the amount of revenue they generate, of course, that's going to be a gigantic focus for Rockstar moving forward. But I think the good thing about Bully is it kind of gives them a smaller project to kind of chip away at as well, with maybe a little bit less resources involved that could also sell pretty darn good, I think. I think a Bully sequel would overperform compared to the original Bully, just because of how much, that name has sort of grown and bubbled with the cult following over time. So Timur, I do think we'll see a Bully sequel. I don't think it's going to be this ginormous budgeted game like, the Red Dead Redemption 3 is going to be, which is obviously going to be the next big game after Grand Theft Auto. Red Dead Redemption 2, while it hasn't sold like Grand Theft Auto 5, it still has sold, so many copies. You'd be crazy not to do Red Dead 3. So that's going to be the next game after Grand Theft Auto 6 for like their big game. But I do think it makes sense to have Rockstar chip away at a Bully game as well, just to split up the releases too, right? Because the gap between Grand Theft Auto 6 and Red Dead 3 will be gigantic, right? After Red Dead or after Grand Theft Auto 6 launches, which is probably at minimum 2 to 3 years away, right? I mean, at minimum, there's no way Grand Theft Auto 6 is less than 2 years away. You're going to still be waiting another 5 or 6 years after that for Red Dead 3. So putting out something in between there would be good for Rockstar, good for the publisher, good for everyone. So I do think so, Timur. I think it makes sense. Benji's Tank Top with a super chat here. Thank you so much, Benji's Tank Top. Do you think Xbox will just depend on third-party exclusives like Warhammer 40K, Darktide, The Gunk, Crossfire X, Stalker 2, etc. for most of year one? Benji's Tank Top, that is the way it looks, yes. It looks like they're going to depend on not these like gigantic next-gen like exclusives with third parties, right? We're not talking about, for example, Sony snagging Final Fantasy 16. Now, we don't know that that's a next year game. That could be 2022. But what I mean is that's like a big freaking game to lock up as exclusive. We haven't seen Microsoft lock in a third-party game that big yet. But they have done, I think, a good job of getting quite a few console third-party exclusives. It seems more like about amount and variety instead of a couple giant tentpoles for them in terms of third-party strategy. As of now, that's the way it looks, because I do not think that Forza Motorsport's next year. I don't think Everwild's next year. I don't think Fable's next year. I could be wrong on all these, right? Maybe some of these are next year, but considering how little we've seen, I don't think so. Halo will, I think, probably be next year, but not till the end of the year. So yeah, they're going to have to depend on games like that to help them. The only problem there for Microsoft is that Sony has big guns next year, right? Right now it looks like, and keep in mind, any of these games can be delayed. But right now Sony's got targeted for next year. We got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. We've got Gran Turismo 7. We've got Horizon Forbidden West. We've got God of War Ragnarok. I mean, it's banger after banger after banger for them. So that is a bit of a potential issue for Microsoft. I don't think it's the end of the world. Microsoft has Game Pass and things like this that will definitely help them, but they don't have the mega releases that Sony has lined up for next year. I think Microsoft's really going to start taking off in 2022. That's my hunch. 2021, I think, will be good year, not necessarily like mind-blowing, but a good year. But I think 2022 is really where you're going to see Microsoft really start to improve on things. Okay, Highlander here saying at Benji-Sales, this is a follow-up to his super chat. Gabe Newell had a 3-hour phone call with Phil Spencer and 2 other people, and they all signed NDAs, and the announcement is on November 9th. It is confirmed. Gabe Newell even tweeted about something coming on the 9th with Microsoft. Okay, that is fascinating info, Highlander. I completely missed this. I mean, seriously, I completely missed this. My guess, Highlander, is it could be something to do with VR. That is potentially possible. Half-Life Alyx, and maybe Microsoft will support VR sets. Here's been my thoughts with Microsoft and VR. I do not think that Microsoft themselves is going to build a VR headset for Xbox. I just think Microsoft's not really in that game. They have so many things to focus on right now, whether it's building up their first-party game sales, whether it's expanding Game Pass. things like this. I don't think Microsoft is going to be building a VR set, but my theory has been they might support VR on Series X. So in other words, if you have an Oculus, potentially maybe you can connect an Oculus to it, or potentially now maybe you could connect a Steam, Valve's headset to the Xbox Series X. I have thought that there is potential for that. I haven't thought it's like a for sure thing by any means, but I've been thinking maybe that's a road they could go down to get VR support without having to super invest on their side of things. So if there really is some sort of deal here going on between Phil and Gabe, it could be something like that, or it could potentially be something in regards to Dota and Counter-Strike or something like that coming to Game Pass. That is also a potential, right? We know Microsoft's pushing really hard on Game Pass. Maybe the plan here for Valve has been a little out of the console space for a while, right? You haven't seen very many Valve games coming to console. So that's a potential, right? Maybe they're going to have some sort of next-gen version of Counter-Strike that is going to be on console. Maybe they're thinking about bringing Dota in some way to console. We've seen that League of Legends is going to be trying to bring over League of Legends to console in a bit of a different form. So maybe something like that. That is a potential. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things there, Highlander. I seriously did not know this was a thing. So thank you for the question. And that's kind of my thoughts on what it could be. Super chats pouring in here. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats. Thank you. It's off the charts. You guys are amazing. And the chat number shot up, too. So thank you, everyone. Lots of people jumping into chat. Thank you so much. All right, Kellegrim here with his super chat. What's up with PS5 selling online only on launch day? Are they ignoring the fiasco of pre-orders, or is this just trying to get good PR due to COVID? In person was my only hope to beat the bots. Kellegrim. Yeah, it's fascinating. So, and thank you for the super chat again. You're always so generous with super chats, Kellegrim. Thank you. You're great. You're a great person. My thoughts on what's going on here, because I work in retail. So I can't go super in depth on this, but it is public now. But again, I work in retail, so I am under NDA on some stuff in regards to this kind of thing. Here's what I'll say. Retailers in general have been trying to avoid lines. They've been trying to avoid big crowds. It's why you're seeing retailers do a spread out Black Friday this year. It's why you're seeing lots of companies doing like every week we have a new Black Friday sale instead of all sales being concentrated on just Thanksgiving Black Friday week, right? They're trying to spread them out. Retailers right now do actually not want giant crowds. We don't want giant lines. We're trying to avoid this. Obviously, retailers still want a lot of money. They still want a lot of product to sell, but they don't necessarily want, hey, we're going to get 1 million people in a line at once. So on one hand, I think this is actually pressure from retailers onto Sony. Not just a Sony decision. I think retailers themselves have been communicating with Sony about this. Secondly, it's not just online. I get what you're saying. Bots is a huge issue, but it's not just pre-orders, right? If you have a chance, if you can do an online order pickup at a Best Buy or a Target or a GameStop or any of these places, that's going to be the only way you're going to get them at launch. Inventory, I can tell you from what I've seen, is low-ish at launch in terms of excess units for launch day, at least from the things that is being communicated through retailers. You're going to have way more odds, I can also tell you, of getting a disc edition than a digital. Digital is going to be, good luck. Legitimately good luck. For people that want a digital edition at launch and don't have it pre-ordered, I don't know what to tell you. The odds are going to be against you. Disc, you're going to have a better chance, but still not great. Kellegrim, it's going to be one of those things. People are going to have to be ready to go to order, early in the morning, probably on launch day. It's going to just have to be one of those. It sucks because, as you mentioned, bots are going to be all over this. The hope I would have is that you have to actually go pick up these orders for many places, right? It's not one of those things that you can do an online order and have it shipped to you from many retailers, right? Many retailers, the ones they're talking about on launch day, it's you order it and then you go to a curbside or whatever it is like that. That is going to decrease the bots somewhat, because most of the way these bots work is they do an order and have them shipped somewhere. This is not going to be an option for a lot of retailers. You have to actually physically go there yourself and pick it up. So Telegram, I think that helps things a little bit. But yeah, it is a intense situation. I think it's Sony on their end. Yes, a little bit of a good PR move. And then also I think pressure from retailers. I think that's a very big part of it, actually. Multiple super chats dropping in here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Franklin Clinton 98 with a super chat. I've seen people in the comments to your tweets predict Cyberpunk will outsell Red Dead Redemption 2. Do you think that could happen or unlikely? I actually think, yes, it's going to at launch. Let me see. What is Red Dead 2 up to right now? Listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes Cyberpunk different than Red Dead. I'm going to tell you the big difference here in just a second. I want to see what total sales are at it now. I don't remember actually the last update. It's over 30 million, right? Isn't Red Dead 2 over 30 now? So it was over 29 million back in February, right? I'm not seeing a newer update. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly where it's at. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head exactly where we're at on Red Dead 2. It's over 30 million now. At launch, I think it's very, very likely to outsell Red Dead 2. Main reason for that is PC. PC sales for Cyberpunk will be enormous. Enormous. In fact, I mean, it might be more than consoles. We'll have to see. But keep in mind, CD Projekt Red started as a PC developer. They are known as a PC dev. Now, they've become way more ubiquitous on console thanks to The Witcher 3, right? It wasn't their first console game. They also had The Witcher 2 on Xbox 360, but their roots is a PC company. I mean, CD Projekt owns GOG, so they literally even have their own storefront. So PC sales, like I said on Steam for Cyberpunk, that has been hitting the top sellers games, like top 5 for weeks now. And that game is not even out. That's pre-orders. So, I mean, it's going to have a freaking ridiculous launch. I mean, Cyberpunk has a shot at Call of Duty launch. I don't think people understand that. I don't know that I'm going to go as far as to predict it has a bigger launch than Black Ops Cold War. I mean, we'll have to see on that. It's potentially possible, but we've seen that the Call of Duty brand right now is on fire thanks to Warzone. I mean, Modern Warfare 2019 by itself was colossal, but Warzone really took Call of Duty to a new level. So we'll have to see how Black Ops Cold War launches. But I mean, Cyberpunk is like in that territory where you're going to count console and PC. We're talking Call of Duty level sales possibly at launch. So yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk is, people don't understand how big Cyberpunk's going to be. Especially if it's good. You know, especially if it's good. Jason Som, great to see you here, Jason. Thank you so much for the super chat saying keep up the good work, Benji. Thank you, Jason. It's great to see you here, man. And thank you for the super chat. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. JCat with the super chat. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will pass Mario Kart Wii lifetime sales. Yup. It already has if you include Mario Kart 8 on Wii U. By the way, the longest legs in the industry, Mario Kart Wii sold 60K this year. LOL. Yeah, insane. First of all, JCat, it's great to see you here. Always so supportive. One of the kindest people in chat. You are awesome. So thank you for being here, JCat. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, so Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to be over 30 million after this holiday. Like, way over 30 million. Like, I mean, way over 30 million. Way over. I don't know exactly how much, but that's going to be way over. It's almost at 30 million right now, and we have a holiday quarter ahead of us. So think about how big games like Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, Smash, Pokemon, think about how big all those are right now in sales numbers that I read off at the beginning of this chat. they're going to all see colossal gains because we're going into the holiday season. Nintendo is going to sell a absolutely astronomical number of Switch consoles. And as people buy those Switch consoles, we've seen through historical data that they buy many of those Nintendo evergreen games to go along with them. So yeah, Mario Kart's going to be over 30 million after this holiday. Animal Crossing is going to be over 30 million after this holiday. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at absolutely insane numbers. Nintendo's first-party software, by and large, on Switch is insane. I think that Switch will surpass the DS as the console with the highest selling exclusive software sales of all time, right? Right now it's DS and Wii are 1 and 2 as the two consoles that have sold the most first party software. I think Switch will pass them both by the end of its life cycle. Yep. I think Switch will have the most exclusive selling games of all time. So crazy. Benji here with a super chat. Thank you so much, Benji. Great to see you here. Great to see you in chat. Always so supportive. Hi, Benji. Nintendo had to advance next gen because of the Wii U failure. Yep, absolutely. Will Switch successfully delay next gen for Nintendo? I think so. So when are you expecting Switch successor, not Switch Pro? So something interesting that's come out, Benji. First of all, we had comments from Nintendo CEO. I believe it was about last quarter or maybe the quarter before. It was one of those. It was either the last quarter or the one before that. And they basically commented that Switch is approximately halfway through its life cycle right now. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea about what Nintendo's thinking. They think they're about halfway through the life console of the Switch. But at the same time, in just this quarter, David Gibson, who is amazing on Twitter at following Nintendo, over in Japan, he was tweeting out the Q&A that was going on. And one of the things I read in his Q&A was he was saying how Nintendo has seen a later spike than normal for console hardware sales than kind of what you would traditionally think in hardware and software, basically because of things like Animal Crossing and how gigantically successful really everything Nintendo touches has been right now. I do think that there is a legit shot that the massive success of the Switch, I mean, it's mind-boggling. It's outpacing PlayStation 4, launch aligned, could delay next gen for them a little bit. Yeah, especially I would say, Benji, if they really do have that Switch Pro launching next year. We have had numerous rumors about that. Rumors are one of those things that are highly who the freaking heck knows if they're true or not. I mean, seriously. There are rumors, even from reputable places, that oftentimes seem legit and then pan out not being legit. So who knows? It's hard for me to base forecasts specifically off of rumors because those could just go any direction. But if it's true that Switch Pro is a next year device, I think that could delay, even more so the idea of next gen. We're in 2020 right now. If Nintendo thinks they're about halfway through the life cycle, that means they have probably 3 or 4 years left. Benji, I'm going to say Switch 2, the next full on whatever next gen is for them, 2023 or 2024 would be my thoughts. 2023, 2024. I can't see them going past 2024. That would be pretty late, right? 2025 seems unlikely to me. I mean, 2020 is basically over, but that's another 4 years out. They could push it that long, but I don't think so. I think 2023, 2024 for next gen. All right, super chats are cleared for now. Thank you, everyone, for the barrage of super chats. You're all amazing. These super chats support my work directly. I always like to tell you exactly what I'm working on for them. Really quick, don't worry, this is going to take 30 seconds because a lot of you have heard this before. But I don't use your super chats for like frivolous things. I don't go buy Taco Bell or McDonald's with your super chats. They go directly into funding everything I do. So whether that's next-gen consoles, whether that's next-gen games for coverage, whether that's eventually turning this downstairs room into a streaming room, all of your super chats just go directly into funding the things I do. I'm not buying, like I said, silly things with them. every dollar you guys are giving me are going directly to helping support coverage. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. All right. Back to some free questions, because I haven't been able to hit many free questions because super chats have been so generous today. Hi, Javier Macias Leon. Hi, Benji. Which game do you think will be the 2021 game of the year? Ooh, this is fun. We've talked a lot about 2020, but what about 2021? God of War 2, Cyberpunk, Breath of the Wild 2, Elden Ring, Halo Infinite, Horizon 2. 2021 will be a fantastic year. Yeah, so here's what I'll say. I think most of those are potential candidates, right? It's always impossible to know for sure before a game releases. And also, there's going to be a lot of 2021 games that haven't been announced yet. Here's what I'll say. Halo Infinite to me seems unlikely. I hate to say that. I love Halo, but Infinite, what they've shown, I expect the next time we see Halo Infinite, it's going to look a lot different. But I'm going to be honest, I just don't see Halo in that conversation unless they surprise us. I would have been more bullish on Halo Infinite before what we saw at the Microsoft showcase. So I'm going to, for now, kind of scratch that one out. Cyberpunk technically counts for like the big game awards that Jeff Keighley hosts because it's coming out in December, which is after the cutoff date. So if Cyberpunk's good, it will be in that conversation. Breath of the Wild 2, if it really makes next year, I mean, there's almost no doubt to me at all that's going to be in the conversation. God of War 2 is a real wild card because right now it's announced for 2021, but that's a game I could easily see slipping to 2022. I have my fingers crossed that truly is next year, but that to me, all we got was a logo and a date. That to me could easily get delayed till 2022. So we'll have to see on that one. Elden Ring again, who knows? I will say out of what's announced right now, if they really make the dates, Horizon 2 is going to be in that discussion. Yeah, Forbidden West I think will be there. God of War 2, if it really makes that date, and it really is the next God of War and not like a mid-range thing like we're seeing with Miles Morales, that's going to be there. Breath of the Wild 2 for sure. I'm trying to think of any games that are announced next year officially. That I think would be strong candidates. Yeah, I think off the top of my head, those are realistic candidates. Yeah, but that's my thoughts on it. Costa is saying, Benji, how do you feel about the God of War game tester saying it's crazy and special and Game of the Year 21? That sounds like more boss battles to me. Kostas, if that's true and that person's not lying about it, hype. God of War 2018 is one of my favorite games this entire generation. That game is just outstanding. And anyone that follows me whenever I was giving my thoughts on God of War 2018, my one really complaint with it was boss battles. I felt like that game could have just used one or two more, right? Not necessarily they needed 10 more boss battles, but just a couple more boss battles would have made that game so much more epic. And it was already incredibly epic. And if you notice, Cory Barlog in an interview, I saw him himself say that. Like that even Cory himself was like, you know, the development was tough. We all know that. That's not like a new thing. God of War was a tough development cycle. I mean, there's a whole documentary about it that you can go and watch. And they just didn't really have time or ideas that could meet fruition in time to really put more boss battles in there. But yeah, Cory himself even said, yeah, you know, I wish that we could have a few more boss battles. So I hope so, yeah. I hope God of War, the next one, has a couple more. It could have used it. That's the only thing. Because the few ones we had were epic, right? There were some really epic fights. Couple more and we're looking good. Javier asking, what's the first game I'm going to play on Series X and PS5? Series X, it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I love that franchise, and the newest footage of Valhalla looks awesome. So Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Series X. PS5, it's going to be Demon Souls. Demon Souls, baby. Split at 89. Which game are you most excited to play? Ooh, between Demon Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales. Split End, Demon Souls for the next genness of it, right? I think Demon Souls is the best looking next gen game we've seen right now in terms of actual gameplay, in-game footage. I would say Demon Souls and Ratchet and Clank are the two that impress me the most. Demon Souls strictly for its visual fidelity, and Ratchet and Clank for that ultra fast loading, going through the portals, things like that. That's something that screams, hey, this is only possible on next gen to me. So I love Souls games in general, but I'm really excited to play Demon Souls and just look at all the eye candy. But I have a feeling I will like Miles Morales, way more for story and exploration and things like that. So Split End, it's actually a little tough between those two. Spider-Man Miles Morales looks really good as well. I don't think it looks as good as Demon Souls visually, but it looks really freaking good. So it's hard for me to say. I'm playing Demon Souls first because of that next-gen eye candy. But Spider-Man, I'm hyped too. We just had a super chat drop. Let me hit that super chat. I don't think I missed any, right? Yep, no missed super chats. All right, super chat here from Timor. Thank you so much, Timor, with a generous one. Holy cow, Timor. 20 euro, I believe that is. Thank you so much, Timor. Thank you so much. What are your hopes for the Mario movie? Oh, this is fun. No one's asked me about this, Timor. This is fun. No one's asked me about the Mario movie. Plus, do you think we will see a new Mario cartoon/anime to help promote the video games, similar to how Pokemon does it? Plus, Grand Theft Auto 6 sales expectations, 5 sold over 135 million copies. Thank you so much, Timmer, for the incredibly generous super chat and also some fantastic questions. So for the Mario movie, we really saw with Sonic the Hedgehog, that film, that we can legitimately have video game adaptations of movies that are both well received with fans, mostly, right? I mean, of course, there's going to be some people that don't like it, but most fans seem to dig the Sonic movie. It did pretty well with critics as well, and it also had a box office success. That's really a trifecta we have not seen much with video game movies, right? Video game movies have either been one of those things that, critics freaking hate them, but they're also box office successes, but fans don't necessarily like it so much. For example, Resident Evil. Most of the Resident Evil films had a good box office result for their budget, but a lot of critics hated those movies. And also Resident Evil game fans had very mixed feelings, right? They're so different than the games, but they do use some of the characters. So some people are okay with that. Some people freaking hate that. But it's a bit of a mixed bag. So we've had scenarios like that. We've had scenarios where across the board, fans don't like them, critics don't like them, and they don't do well at the box office. I mean, there's like a million of those I could list. Sonic, to me, was kind of the proving point where it is possible to pull it off. You can have one that critics are going to like, fans are going to like, and it's going to do well at the box office. I think Mario will do well. They've got a good studio working on it, Illumination. Nintendo is a studio, or a company that really is pretty serious about quality. You don't see Nintendo put out a ton of games that are just like complete failures critically and stuff. So they really do focus a lot on quality and good products. And obviously Nintendo themselves isn't directly making the Mario movie, but you best believe they're going to be pretty hands-on. Nintendo's pretty protective of its IP. So I'm sure that they're giving a lot of insight and say into that film. So I'm feeling good about it, Timmer. I think it could be, who knows what happens with movie theaters, right? Anyone that follows me knows, as much as I geek out about games and all of that, I also do the same thing with the box office. So there's been nothing really worth paying attention to in the box office lately. So as long as movie theaters come back well, Timmer, I'm expecting good things. I think Mario's going to do really well. I think critics are going to mostly like it, fans as well, and I think it's going to have a great box office result. In terms of a cartoon or anime, it's a smart decision. We're seeing that blow up everywhere right now, right? Cartoon, animes, and even live Live action adaptations of gaming. We've got The Last of Us one on the way. That's live action, but I'm just talking about series. We have The Last of Us on the way. We've got a Cyberpunk 2077 anime on the way. We've got a Dragon's Dogma anime. We've got Castlevania anime. We've got The Division movie. I mean, I could go on and on. Assassin's Creed has a live action. So I think it's smart, Timmer. Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Zelda or a Mario, like you mentioned, or really any of these have a series. That is surprising to me. I think Nintendo should get on that. So yes. And then for the last part of your question, Grand Theft Auto 6 sales, I'm going to say not as high as 5. That's super controversial maybe in some ways, because a lot of times you think that sequels are going to outperform the previous one, but I don't think so. I don't think Grand Theft Auto 6, even as amazing as it's probably going to be, is going to match 5. 5 is selling like basically nothing we've ever seen outside of like Minecraft, right? If you're up in Minecraft territory, you're insane, right? Because Minecraft appeals to everyone. It's in any age group type thing, whereas Grand Theft Auto is way more hardcore M. So to be hitting Minecraft type numbers as an M-rated game, I mean, that's mind-blowing. I just don't see it. I think Grand Theft Auto 6 will get over 100 million probably, but 5 still has so much left in the tank. It's at 135 and it's going to keep going higher. 135 is nowhere near the end of its life. So I just can't see it. I cannot see Grand Theft Auto 6 matching 5. I hope I'm wrong, but if I had to make a prediction right here, right now, I say no. Nope. I say 5 sells more than 6. Franklin Clinton here with a super chat. Thank you everyone for all these super chats. It's been insane. Thank you for a great turnout. We're not done yet. We still got about another 30 minutes in the tank I can answer questions for. So we're not done. I can still hit a lot of questions, y'all. Don't worry. But thanks everyone. Great chat so far. Franklin Clinton 98 with a super chat. When do you think the supply for PS5 normalizes? Ooh, good question. Do you think we'll be able to easily pick one up by February in any store or later? No, Franklin. I don't think so. I really don't. I think PS5 upfront demand for the first 6 months is going to be insane. I recently said, I've said it here on the chat. I said it on Twitter. I think they can get to 10 million consoles shipped within the launch. I should say launch window, right? Basically by the end of their fiscal year, which is going to be March. I think they're going to hit 10 million units, and I think they're going to sell every single unit they ship. Every single one. So February, I don't think so. Here's the thing. I don't think that necessarily it'll be impossible to get one before February, but in a scenario where they're just sitting on shelves unsold, like you're mentioning, just very easily, always in stock, never at shortages, they're just overflowing on shelves. I don't think you hit that until next summer. Because the launch lineup, once you count Ratchet and Clank's going to be in that window. Once you count if GT7 really is in the first half of next year, that's what an ad that recently was for the game stated. I think demand's too high. I think they're going to sell every single unit they ship until late spring, early summer. That would be my guess. Franklin. Awesome. Thank you. Super chats are cleared. Let's get to some more free questions. Thank you, everybody. You're amazing. Okay. Free question time. Nasir had a question about should Nintendo extend the life cycle of the Switch or release a Switch 2 in 2023. I commented on that, Nasir. I think that 2023 or 2024 is the date for the next Switch. I could easily see 2024, honestly. I know that sounds like far away, but really 2020 is basically over, so that's 3 more years of Switch. And I don't think that's crazy to think about at all, considering how high momentum is. They still got Breath of the Wild 2 on the way. They still got Metroid on the way. There's going to be another 3D Mario game, of course, right? There's not going to just be Odyssey. They're going to have another 3D Mario in there somewhere. There's still so much left in the tank. I don't think they need to push it to 2023, as in they feel pressured to. They can ride this out easily till 2024. I think 2023 still has potential to be the Switch 2 launch date, but don't be shocked at all if it's 2024. Don't be surprised by that. Teddy Morton. With the controller and sound upgrades, is Sony making a case for being the default horror? Ooh, this is interesting. Horror multi-plat console despite lower raw horsepower. You're a horror guy. What will you play Resident Evil 8 on? Yes, I love horror games. I am currently right now replaying through Resident Evil 7 on Xbox One X. I originally played Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation 4, and I'm playing it for the first time on Xbox One X. Two really quick thoughts on that. A, that game is so freaking good. I mean, seriously, replaying through it, Resident Evil 7 is top tier horror. I mean, it is one. I seriously think Resident Evil 7 is one of the best horror games ever made. It is so good. Second thought, man, that RE engine is insane. It looks gorgeous on the One X. I'm playing through it, and those kinds of visuals at 60 FPS, ooh, so good. I mean, so good. That RE engine is just unbelievably impressive. Now, in regards to horror games, that is interesting. You make a great point. Everyone talks about the haptics being amazing in the DualSense. I've got a DualSense right here, but I can't feel the haptics, and I can't feel, the resistance triggers yet. All I can do is just feel how it feels, and I'll tell you, y'all, feels great. Feels so good. But it's possible, yeah, Teddy, it is possible that could be a true horror thing. If those haptics and everything are as impressive as they say, if the Tempest audio is as unique and impressive as they say, it could really go a long way. Yeah, in terms of immersion. Yeah, Resident Evil 8, I don't know yet. A lot of people ask me where I'm going for my multi-plat games next gen. I really don't know. There's so many factors right now. Is Series X really going to run games quite a bit better than PlayStation 5? If there is a noticeable gap, I'm going to go Series X for multi-plats. But if they're very close, right? If they play games almost the exact same, but that DualSense really is as impressive as they say, and that Tempest audio is really as impressive as people say, that could sway me. Yeah, that could sway me to multi-plats. I don't know yet, Teddy, on Resident Evil 8. Not sure. The Mr. Pio saying, Benji, I love Mr. Pio's Twitter. Great to see you. Thanks for jumping in the chat. You are so hype. You honestly, Mr. Pio on Twitter brings me genuine joy with his Twitter feed. He is so awesome. Big PlayStation fan, so expect a lot of PlayStation hype on his Twitter, but I love it. It's all positive, just super amped, super hyped. I love it. Great to see you, Mr. Pio. You're the man. And Teddy Morton saying, love the shirt. Thank you. Yeah, I've been kind of rotating through, right? I had a PlayStation shirt 3 weeks ago, an Xbox shirt last week, and a Nintendo shirt this week. I just felt the Nintendo shirt was appropriate, right? We were talking about Nintendo sales. We were talking about their, Switch and stuff. Nintendo shirt just felt right. Michelle Tackett saying, I'm happy for Nintendo. Heck, video games are doing great. I agree, Michelle. Right now, everyone's doing great. I know that sounds like kumbaya, let's all get along, but it really is true. Xbox is having, basically their best year ever in terms of revenue. PlayStation is selling through the roof. We all know that. And now Nintendo, just unbelievable. It's a great time for the gaming industry right now. It really, truly is. It's a great time. I don't think I had a super chat drop. Let me make sure. I want to make sure they're clear. Yep, we're clear. I'm going to hit more free questions. Silence PP7. Sega hinted at doing a Dreamcast Mini. Ooh. How do you see that going in terms of hype and sales? I think it'd do good, Silence PP7. I think it'd do really good. And what games do you think would be included? Silence PP7, this would be, I think, good for them. Right? We all know that the cult following for the Dreamcast is like crazy. The nostalgia pull on that machine is crazy. And also at the same time, so while it would attract a lot of people that really loved the Dreamcast, it was also, though, a console that a lot of people never owned. So for a lot of people, this could be a very cool first time to have that Dreamcast feel, right? So I think it'd do good. Sounds PP7. I think a Dreamcast Mini, good success for them. That would be a smart idea in my opinion. In terms of me, I didn't own a Dreamcast. I played it at a buddy's house who had it. So in terms of the game lineup, I'm not sure because I am not someone that had one. So I didn't play a lot of the best games or the games that felt the most, on it. One I would say has to be there's Crazy Taxi, right? If I'm remembering right, Crazy Taxi debuted on Dreamcast, right? And was Power Stone on that? Was that a Dreamcast game? Yeah. Yeah, Crazy Taxi has to be there. You have to have Crazy Taxi if you're going to do a Dreamcast. I think Power Stone was a Dreamcast. Yes, Power Stone. So I would say those two have to be there. You have to have Power Stone and you have to have Crazy Taxi. No way you do a Dreamcast Mini and you don't have those two games. So off the top of my head, that's two that really stand out. You got to have Crazy Taxi and Power Stone. Kellegrim saying, I almost forgot to like the video. Yeah, I don't spam out likes. I'm not one of those kind of YouTubers who are always harassing you to hit like. But yes, everyone, if you like doing these live chats, I always appreciate the likes. They do help my channel get found. They help my videos get found. So if you enjoy the live chat, hit that like button. It might seem like a small thing, but it really does help the channel. Tony Yayo, will the election be over by November 12th? Well, my God, Tony, I hope so. I'm not going to get super political on here. Don't worry, everyone. I'm not like someone that preaches politically to everyone. I have my own beliefs. I think everyone knows where I stand politically, but I'm not going to preach to you about it. I hope it's over by November 12th. My God, this has been a stressful few days for everyone in the U.S., like stressful in general. So, yeah, I hope. I hope it's done by then. Pierre485, hello Pierre, great to see you here. Any prediction for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Q3 and lifetime to date? Well, Pierre, I think that Nintendo counts Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundled software in their totals, which if that's true, you're going to see a freaking huge number. What was their Q3 last year for Mario Kart? Let me check something really quick. Mario Kart Q3 2019. Let's see. Wow, of course it's bringing up all Mario Kart Tour. I don't care about Mario Kart Tour. I'm sorry, mobile. I just don't care about that game. Because it's going to be higher. That's what I'm going to say right now. It's going to be higher than what that Q3 was. Okay, here we go. Q3. So 4 million units, right? So Mario Kart did 4 million last Q3. Higher than that. It's going to be higher than that. Yep, it's going to be higher. So that would put to me, depends on how many bundles they do, which is a giant wild card, Pierre. I'm going to say 5 to 6 million. Yeah, so way over 30, way over 30. Yeah, it could be, if I'm saying 5 to 6 million, if they did 4 million last Q3, that's going to put it's at 29 million. So 34, 35 million for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I really think so. I'd be surprised if they do less than last because they're selling more hardware, I believe, than last holiday. And so that's going to be more bundles for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe than last holiday. So over 5 to 6 million is my guess. Red Superior here. Hi, Benji. How much do you think Pokemon Sword and Shield's lifetime sales will be? Currently, it's only about 3 million below Gold and Silver. Can it beat that? So yeah, it's at 19 million. It's the first Pokemon games since, I believe, Gold and Silver. Yeah, I think those were the last ones to get over 19 million. So you're seeing just amazing results. Can it get another 3 million lifetime? I think it partially depends on how good the DLC is. That could attract new buyers. Nintendo's releasing a new SKU of Sword and Shield that include the season pass with it. Like you get the game and you also get the season pass. So I would say part of it depends on that, but I think it can, yeah. I think it can do lifetime. I mean, that's still quite a ways away. I don't think we're going to get a follow-up for Sword and Shield for a long time, right? I think these are the only Pokemon games, mainline, not counting remakes. I could see a remake, sooner than this, but we're not going to get a next mainline new generation Pokemon for several years still. So yeah, I think they can do another 3 million. We have a holiday quarter right ahead of us. That's going to give it a boost. And then, long-term legs. So I think so. Yep, I think it can beat that. Silence PP7. Out of all the big holiday releases, which do you see going on sale first and by how much? Ooh, is there any chance we specifically see the Ubisoft titles half off by Christmas? So I think the Sony first party stuff isn't going to basically go down at all this year. I don't think you're going to see Spider-Man Miles Morales. I don't think you're going to see Demon's Souls. I don't think you're going to see any of that get discounted this year in general. Maybe as part of like some sort of like bundled sale, right? Like, oh, you get $10 off with the PlayStation 5 or something like that. I'm just spitting theoreticals. I don't even know that I expect that, but maybe you see something like that. But I don't think you see full on price cuts on any of the major first party software this year. I think, like you mentioned, Ubisoft, yeah, they're going to be the prime candidate. I would say Assassin's Creed Valhalla you could see go on sale. I don't think half off. I think that's way too generous. But I think you might see it get a $15 or $20 cut. Assassin's Creed Valhalla would be in there. Potentially Call of Duty, maybe. If Call of Duty gets one for Christmas, it won't be big. Maybe $10. I'm speaking in U.S. money here. Whatever the equivalent to everyone else's money would be. But Call of Duty, maybe $10. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, maybe like 15 or 20 max. But I would not expect any of the Sony first-party games. No Sackboy, no Demon's Souls, no Spidey. I don't think you see any of those get price cuts this year. Obviously, they will in the future, but I just don't think this year. I don't think so at all. We had a super chat drop. Let me hit that super chat. Yet another one from Kellegrim. Thank you so much, Kellegrim. My goodness, dude. You rock. You're amazing. Metroid 4 was probably already in development hell. Oh, yeah. Right after they announced it. Yes. Yes, it was. Do you think we'll see anything on it next year, or did COVID push it to 2022? Metroid is such a fantastic question, Kellegrim. Here's the thing we know. Yeah, it was in a bad spot in development. So much so they literally pulled the dev that was working on it and put it to a completely different team, right? It was in development originally, I believe, at Bandai Namco. I apologize if I am wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Bandai Namco was the team that was originally making Metroid. They completely took it away from Bandai, and now Retro Studios is doing it. And every hint we've had from Retro lately is that still seems quite a bit off. I think you will 100% see Metroid 4 next year. Whether that's a trailer or an actual release, I'm less bullish on a release. I think that could be 2022 game, Kellegrim. But I think you will at least finally see what the freaking heck Metroid 4 is next year. I would be shocked if they go yet another year with zero footage. I think we will see the game. I just don't know that it's going to release. It clearly had a very rough development originally. I'm guessing they literally threw away everything. Whenever you saw that logo and, whatever behind the scenes Bandai Namco had in the pipeline, I'm guessing that completely got thrown away. And Retro just basically completely restarted from the ground up with their own vision of it, would be my guess. So it's actually been in development not a super long time, considering, look when Retro started. I think that was basically the beginning of development, because I think they just completely rebooted it to whatever their vision was. But yeah, trailer next year, I do think so. Possibly release, but probably 2022 on release date. All right, I'm going to jump around now and start picking out just a few real highlights of questions, because we've been going for an hour and 18 minutes. I usually like these streams to be right at about an hour and a half, and then I also have to go to work today. So I'm still going to hit some questions. Don't worry, y'all. I'm not shutting down the chat right now, but we've only got about 10, 12 minutes left to chat. So I'm going to be a little picky on questions. I'm going to try and pull questions from people I haven't taken questions yet from, so that those people can get some of their voices and questions heard as well. So let me bounce around a little bit and pick out some really good ones. All right. Sorry, this section I'm reading right now was mostly people talking to each other, which is great. I love to see it in chat. I'm just trying to pull out. Okay, here we go. Good question here from Lucas Salbego, which I have not been able to take a question from yet today. So here we go from Lucas. Do you think Nintendo will cut Switch's base price soon or anytime soon? Lucas, I don't think so. And here's why. They just don't need to. Switch sales keep increasing. They're going up, and they haven't dropped price. So I think they have no reason to cut price. The only reason you really cut price is to generate higher volume sales than what you're currently doing, right? Otherwise, you're just throwing away money. If you think you're going to sell X amount of units, and cutting the price doesn't really change whether you sell that forecast, like you're going to hit that forecast either way. You just don't cut the price, because then you're just throwing revenue away. Just like we're seeing for their holiday sales bundle, Nintendo's doing the exact same thing they've done for the last 2 years. They have a Switch bundled with Mario Kart, and the one plus they did this year is it includes a Nintendo Online subscription, I believe for about 3 months. So they're adding a little bit more value there by including the online sub. But basically, it's primarily the same thing they've done for the last 2 years. Lucas, they just have no reason to cut price. None. If it's going to keep selling like this, you need to maximize the amount of money you're going to get back. So I would not expect a price cut until at the soonest when the Switch Pro launches, if that's real. If it's a real legit thing, I could see them cutting price then, potentially depending on what they're pricing the Pro at. But my guess has been that the Pro is a $399 platform, and that way they're going to have 3 different price ranges. If this is real, y'all, this is guessing that this is real based off rumors. I could see a $199 Lite, $299 Standard, $399 Pro. That to me would make sense. But if the Pro is going to be cheaper than what I'm thinking, then maybe they bring down price then, right? Maybe then you have like a $149 Lite, a $249 Standard, and a $349 Pro. I could also see a scenario like that. Basically, everything gets a $50 cut. That's another scenario I could see, Lucas. Pendant Beard here. First of all, great to see you, Pendant Beard. Love seeing you in chat. And saying they made a Mario Brothers movie years ago that wasn't that good. Yeah, it was bad. The original Mario Bros movie, not good. Pendant, I feel a lot better about this one because A, this is an animated movie. It's not the live action, which live action just does not work for Mario. I think we clearly saw that. Don't do live action Mario. This is animated, right? It's done by Illumination, the people that do the you know, my brain is going out here. They do the Minions, they do the Despicable Me movies. They're doing Mario. I think it's going to work a lot better as an animated film. Way, way better than live action. But yeah, that old one sucked. CA Knight here with a very important point here saying Animal Crossing New Horizons hasn't even had a holiday season yet. Yeah, as I mentioned at the top of the chat, Animal Crossing New Horizons is selling like no non-bundled exclusive we've ever seen. We have never seen a game for any platform, not counting third party, multi-platform games, exclusive games. We have never seen something sell at the rate Animal Crossing is. Y'all, it's at 26 million, and that is without holidays. It's going to be over 30 million after this holiday. It's going to be over 30 million units in less than a year. That is one of the most mind-blowing things I have ever seen. Everyone knows Animal Crossing, you know, if you follow me at least, it didn't really click for me so much like it did with some people. I bought it, I played it a little bit, and I thought it was cool, but it wasn't just my type of game, right? Everyone has their own types of games. Animal Crossing just didn't quite click for me, but it has clearly clicked for a massive amount of people. And I think one thing that's very important to note there, Animal Crossing has connected very strongly with women, right? It's one area that, that's a demographic that's frankly underserved. Now, women and men can like all kinds of the same games, right? There's women that can be amazing Call of Duty players and they're playing Call of Duty online, every single day. I don't mean this in some sort of like sexist way where only certain games can appeal to certain people. I don't mean that at all. But the proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, data does not lie to you. And Nintendo has openly stated Animal Crossing New Horizons has performed way stronger with women than basically all of their games. Like, it's done incredibly well for them. So that is opening up a whole nother demographic that is clearly underserved, and that is generating gigantic sales. Obviously, plenty of men are buying this game too, but that's also boosting how big its appeal is you're hitting a whole nother demographic that games don't always hit on. So yeah, amazing. Animal Crossing is just mind-blowing. Actually mind-blowing. Crazy. All right, we had a super chat drop here at the end. Two of them coming in right at the end of chat. Thank you so much, Telegram. Another one. I think that's like your fourth super chat, dude. You do not have to be this generous. Thank you so much. The chat today in general has been unbelievably generous. Thank you, everyone. It really helps what I do. This is literally my YouTube revenue, right? My videos get anywhere between 1,000 views usually and 2,000 views. Like 2,000 is kind of my high end. Around 1,000 seems to be the new baseline for me, or close to it, like 900, right? 900 to 1,000. That's not enough to get you any ad revenue. We're talking maybe a couple dollars a month. So this, y'all, I mean, these super chats, this is my revenue for YouTube. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Telegram, we ever going to see a Mass Effect movie? Oh, God, I would love it. Legendary was supposed to have the rights. Yes. So Legendary a long time ago acquired Mass Effect movie rights. We don't know if that's still a thing, right? Because it's been so long. We don't know the length of that contract or how that pans out, if they lost the rights by never making a movie or not. But Telegram, Mass Effect is a universe that makes perfect sense for a movie. I mean, perfect sense. Sci-fi is super popular in general in media, whether it's books, whether it's movies, whether it's TV shows. Look at The Mandalorian. Yes, it's Star Wars, but I mean, it's sci-fi, and it's one of the biggest shows on TV right now, right? Sci-fi is just, it's a big genre. And Mass Effect, with its various races and planets all set up already for you, right? You have that pre-built ready to go. The Normandy, I would love to see it follow Shepard's story in particular. I think not always do I want a movie to follow a game, like if it's set in the same universe. I think it's kind of okay to play around there. But I think the original narrative of Mass Effect is just so good. It would be really epic to see that in a film form. I hope so. Telegram, Mass Effect is one of those franchises to me that makes perfect sense in live action. Some stuff, it's kind of harder to think how it will transfer. Mass Effect's perfect. So yeah, Telegram, I'd love to see it. Whether that's a movie or a TV series even. I think Mass Effect could make an awesome... I mean, look at like Star Trek, right? Star Trek's a TV show, and that is done amazing throughout the decades on TV. You could even make a really dope Mass Effect series. You know, a 10-part episode Netflix or Showtime or HBO series. I mean, I'd be down with that too. Doesn't have to be a movie, but live action Mass Effect, yeah, it'd be amazing. JCat with a super chat. Second one of the chat. Thank you, JCat. We were discussing why there shouldn't be a live action Zelda. Ooh, with Tom Holland as Link. And how awful that would be because Link shouldn't talk. Wow. Yeah. No Tom Holland as Link. I'll tell you what, guys. I think I touched on this before. I think Tom Holland looked better as Drake than I originally thought whenever I saw the set photos of him. Whenever they very first announced him as Nate, I didn't really dig it. And even though I think Tom Holland's a great actor, I think Tom Holland's a very good actor, but he also has a boyish look to him, right? Like young. When I say a boyish look, I mean he looks young. I know he's actually a little bit older now than he was, for Spider-Man Homecoming, right? He's not like a teenager necessarily anymore, but he just has that look to him that is very young. And Nate, whenever you play the games, doesn't really look all that young. I mean, especially by the time you get to Uncharted 4, right? Which makes sense. He's supposed to be middle-aged by then. But even in Uncharted 1, he doesn't really look like this super young guy. He looks like, maybe mid to late 20s or even early 30s. So I kind of question, I'm like, man, he just looks so young to be Nate. But the live action set photos looked good. I was impressed with them. So I really hope he pulls it off. Really hope he pulls it off. But yeah, him as Zelda, oh my God. As Link in a live action Zelda, that would be a disaster. And live action Zelda in general, JCat, is a huge question. How would that work, really? Because Link doesn't really talk. But here's what I'll say, JCat. Look at Mad Max Fury Road, right? I mean, Max himself, Mad Max, barely speaks. It's mostly grunts and, You can pull it off. You could do it. But that might work better animated. Maybe. I don't know. Zelda would be a little tough because as you know, Link is a silent protagonist besides screaming and shouting and things like that. But not impossible to do, as we've seen with Mad Max. Okay, everyone. I'm going to bounce, I think. Let me do 2 questions. I'm going to do 2 questions and leave so I can get ready for work. But I want to hit 2 more free questions before we go. Oh, and Lich staying here saying to follow that up. Mandalorian barely speaks. It's another great point. Great point, Lich saying. Mando is barely talking. I mean, he has a few lines per episode, but he's not out here just delivering tons of dialogue. So you could pull off live action Zelda, but the supporting cast would have to be written very well because you're not going to get much, if any, talking from Link. So they would have to really make sure they write all the supporting characters very good because that's going to be where your dialogue's coming from. Okay. I want to pull 2 more free questions and we're going to call it a chat. Thanks, everyone, for an amazing chat. It's been absolutely incredible. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, everyone. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Ooh, I'll tell you what. We might have hit almost everything. Almost everything. Because a lot of the stuff in chat is more just comments on what we were talking about. Here's one. King of the Dry Bones. Article just came out that PS5 won't support SSD expansion at launch. Yes. Storage for next gen at launch. Gonna be tough. We've seen how big now Call of Duty's install size is. We've seen how big some various other games' install sizes are. We know PS5 is going to let you expand the storage eventually with specific SSDs. But yes, it is confirmed, not at launch. We know there's not a ton of storage in these boxes, right? 1 terabyte, which could get filled pretty quick with how big next-gen games could potentially start getting, with really high-resolution assets and textures. So that is a potential problem. Yes, we are not going to have that expansion at launch. So great point there. And then a final comment I'm going to get from Vertical21. Only 2 games I can see coming out next year for Xbox would be Starfield and Hellblade 2. Yeah, Hellblade 2 I'm questioning a little bit just because we have seen essentially nothing on it besides that original cinematic trailer, but I would love to see Hellblade 2 next year. I love Hellblade 1. I mean, my God, if Hellblade 2 is next year, hype. And Starfield, I have been theorizing as 2021, but the newest interview with Todd Howard that just came out is making me question it a little bit more, because he mentioned it's still a ways off. Now, if it's holiday 2021, that's a year. So that is a ways away. So I would say Starfield is a wild card. Could be holiday 2021. I've been theorizing that for a while. Hellblade 2, hype. If that really is next year, hype. All right, everyone, I'm going to bounce out. I got to get ready for work. I got to head out of here. Thank you for an amazing amount of super chats today, everyone. I hope I hit as much as y'all felt like you got your worth out of. Thank you. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. The subscribers help. Really helps get the name out there. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe. Play some games. I will see you either on YouTube in the next live chat next week. We're here every single week, baby. So live chat next week, or otherwise I will see you on Twitter. See you, everyone. Have a good day, an amazing day. Next Gen's right around the corner. Hype.